Hi, Matt with eTrailer. Today we're going to be talking about the Thule OutPace bike rack on the back of our 2025 Kia Telluride. Now this is going to be a great rack because it can hold a lot of different bikes. It's going to be very compact when there's bikes on here or when you're storing it in your garage or home, and it's going to look nice back here. But the first thing I really want to point out is how it's interacting with the Telluride today. And right now we have a really good spacing between these two. Even if you're on those really bumpy roads, let's say this is moving around a decent amount, this is nowhere close to making contact with our vehicle. Now, there is a lot of space here, but not enough to open up our hatch yet. And how we can open up that hatch is if we come to the back end and pull on this rubber cord right here, just lift up on it, push up on the rack, and then it will drop down. Just like that. It's a pretty smooth transition, and we get a good tilt, even with a weight capacity of 55 pounds per bike. And from here, I can open up my lift gate and gain access to our hatch. This would be great if you need to put away any groceries, or if you want to get ready for your ride, you can take a seat, tie your shoes, and even grab your helmet. And once you're done, press that button, and we can lift this back into place. And this movement here feels pretty smooth. Now I only have one bike on here, but even with those heavier or smaller e-bikes on here, this is going to be just fine. Now if we want to take a closer look at it, I'm going to remove the bike, and where I like to start is with these straps. So if I move this other one out of the way, you can see this point a little bit better. This actually ratchets too, so it can get extra tight, but if I press on it, it releases. And we're going to have two of these, and that's what gives us a really good hold on our bike today. Typically bike racks with only one of those straps, you're going to notice there's still a decent amount of wobble in it, so this one just gives me more peace of mind. And we're going to have another one that's going to make direct contact with the frame. And I like something that makes direct contact with the frame because it gives us a really good hold. The only downside to this is if you have a carbon frame bike or a bike with a really nice paint job, this is going to make direct contact. If you are worried about that, then I'd recommend checking out the Thule OutPace bike rack because it can make frame contact or contact with the tire instead. Now with all that said, when it comes to putting this back into place, this is really easy to do. Just make sure you put that strap up because that's just going to make this look a little bit nicer. There we go. And you do have the option of putting these cradles folded inwards, like this. Now, in my opinion, I like leaving them out when we have it on the back of our vehicle. And I'll show you why here in a second. First, let me put these back out and put these straps up, just so they look a little bit nicer when we're riding around. But I'm going to get a couple measurements. And the first measurement I'm going to get is going to be the ground clearance. So if you're going up those steep inclines, you want to make sure this isn't going to bottom out. And with the distance we have here today, that's going to be over 26 inches. We're nowhere near close hitting the ground. So even on those steeper inclines, like a driveway, you're going to be just fine. Now for the total distance of way it sits, this is going to be 27 inches. So 27 inches for a 2 bike rack is pretty compact. I will say you'll notice putting your bikes on here will be a little bit tight at times, but you can still put 2 mountain bikes on here. You might just have to adjust a few things. Now if you don't have any bikes on here at all, you can fold this up. I do recommend making sure everything's kind of tight because this is going to get real close to our vehicle. So when I push it up, we'll pull on the strap here and it'll fold up just like that. And just looking over here, we're close to making contact, but we still have about an inch. And this is really compact. So if I get that measurement right here, we're only sitting at about 8.5 inches. It doesn't get much more compact than that. Now this is part of the reason why I recommended keeping the cradles out like this, because this is going to make sure that your license plate is more visible and easy to see. The same thing is going to be said for your backup camera. Of course, you still are going to pick up on this. And if you don't like smaller things blocking your vision, then I'd recommend just sticking to using your back window since that's not going to be blocked, or your mirrors. And then your taillights, along with that, since they are shaped like this, aren't going to be blocked either. Now the way this is going to install is we're going to have an 1.25" shank that goes into your 2-inch hitch receiver. The way that's possible is because we have a 2-inch sleeve adapter on here that comes with your bike rack. But you can take that off if you have an 1.25" receiver too. So that's why it's pretty adaptable for vehicles as well. And then we're going to have a hook that's integrated onto the rack that goes through this pinhole over here, so you don't have to worry about losing any types of pin or clips with your bike rack. And another feature that's going to be built in is going to be this anti-rattle device right here. So we're going to have a lock cord that's also going to be key-to-like with a lock that's integrated on the rack, so you can keep your rack and your bike secured. And the way this works is you can pivot this to a point where you can get more leverage, push down on it, and it tightens it into place. Pull on it again, and put it back into the lock position. So that's one of the things I do like about that is a lot of this is integrated into the design. And then on top of that too, when you are ready to put this in your garage or your home, you can take this out, and that shank that's on here actually folds up into the design, so it has a really small footprint. But if you need something with a slightly heavier weight capacity, then I'd recommend the Thule OutPace again, because that will also make contact with the tire too. But this is going to be probably almost half the size of that, so if you're really needing to save space, this is going to be the way to go. But of course, if you guys have any other questions, let us know here at eTrailer. And again, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.